Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about a number of things here today, including what I'm printing now, and including some other things, some fun stuff I'm doing. Hang on a second, let me shut my door because the air conditioning vent came on, and it's like the air conditioning came on, and this room is like being in the middle of a vacuum cleaner when the air conditioner comes on. So let me back off and shut that door. Oh my gosh, that's way better. So today we're going to cover a number of topics, as I said, including what's on the printer now, the Petsfang, and some other things I've done. One thing I want to do is I want to get a little bit more lighting in this room for these videos. Now, my wife has a couple of really super nice studio lights. You know, 6-foot tall tripod things, these great big lights with fabric covers. You know, they've got the white fabric front cover. They're fantastic. I don't want them in here. Not to make a 5 or 10 minute video. They'd be great, but I'm not lugging them in here. So, and they're in the dining room right now, by the way. So, what I did was I got a little creative. I saw a couple lights down at the Home Depot I liked, and I thought, you know something? They're nice, but I don't really want to spend that. So then I thought about these goofy little lights that I get for free at Harbor Freight. And I'll show you one of them. There it is right there. These things are pretty much free with coupons every month or two, and I'm always down at the Harbor Freight getting something or other, so I probably got a dozen of these things with all the LEDs in the front. I have a couple of LEDs on the bottom too, so you have kind of a little mini flashlight as well. But then I thought of those, and I thought of let me move my cup here. I thought of that little modular system I like so much. So I made a couple of little stands for it out of the modular system parts, printed them up. Here's the white one over here. You see it a little bit better. So they just kind of hold those lights. And you know what? Hey, this is kind of humorous. Kind of how you do something without spending much, if any, money. And then I made the other part of the modular system, including a remix of it that mounts it to a tripod. And I happen to have a really nice little tripod. So I did those things, and you're going to be first ones to help me test it out. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move over and I'm going to mount the camera on the little stand, just like that. Pretty cool, huh? Let's move the tripod slightly back, tip it down a little bit more, right about there, and let's turn the lights on. Here comes the other one. Hey, how about that? Poor man's studio lighting right there. 20 cents for the plastic and 5 cents worth of electricity and the gas to go to Harbor Freight and back, but considering I was going anyway. So a couple other things I want to touch on while we're watching this thing print. First, some of you have asked me about my background. I have been self-employed for 20 years. I have been a computer IT guy for all that time. And I do all kinds of stuff on the side. Machining. One thing you learn when you're self-employed is always keep your eye open for another client or another income stream. Clients and income streams don't last forever. I've gotten caught with my pants down thinking something was going to last forever, and it didn't. I had to go back to work for somebody else for a while. Hopefully, if you ever have to do that, it won't be for long. I informed that person that I was only going to work for them temporarily, and they were fine with that since they were basically covering for an employee who was going to be out for a number of months. But always keep your eyes open. If these type of videos and YouTube is something you can make a buck off of, more power to you. Be honest about it. I would never put an affiliate link in without telling you it was an affiliate link. Right now, companies like Banggood and Amazon, Amazon knows who I am because I buy a lot of client stuff from them. Banggood doesn't have a clue who I am, neither does Creality. I bought this printer myself. I've got another one coming. I purchased that myself as well. So the purpose of this channel is for me to have fun. Learn a few things, maybe teach a few things, have some laughs. I have a kind of a self-deprecating sense of humor, and it's rather dry. So I'm always willing to make fun of myself in order to get a laugh or two. Don't take it personally. I don't take it personally. It's just good fun. So the lighting seems to be working shockingly well. My wife heard what I was doing. Well, that's never going to work. Why don't you just cart the big expensive lights back there? Well, she doesn't sound like that. She sounds like this. But I didn't want to, and anyway, I think that's kind of cool. I wouldn't make an hour-long video. Well, I'm not going to make hour-long videos anyway. I wouldn't make an hour-long video with this, but these things don't use much batteries, and they're a little bit more of a spot than a flood, which doesn't work great. Or as great as it should, but for something that probably cost me less than $1, including the mount for the phone, I'm pretty happy. And let's talk about the Harbor Freight and maybe Banggood for a few minutes. I've been dealing with Harbor Freight for a long time. Back in the days when their tools were basically throwaway. I used to keep their tools around to lend them to neighbors and to family members because A, not only didn't I expect to get them back, I didn't even necessarily want them back. But over the years, their quality has gotten better and better and better, and we're actually making some pretty decent stuff these days. One of my rules about tools is if the tool goes in my garage, I can put up with a crap quality tool. If it breaks, well, I either drive down and get another one, or I go inside and have a beer and wait till tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal. If these are tools that go in my vehicle and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I want the best quality I can get. Because if it breaks, I'm well and royally screwed. I know people that do it the other way. They keep their super expensive tools in their lockable giant boxes in their garage, which I have several of, and they put garbage tools in their car. And to me, that's the other way around. Do yourself a favor. If it's for an emergency, get the best one you can. Best one you can afford. And Banggood. Let's talk about Banggood for a second and the other Chinese retailers. I deal a lot with Banggood. My wife deals with one called Fast Tech. My wife is one of the vaping crowd. Keep those negative comments someplace else, please. As for her, she broke the 2-pack a day, 40-year 2-pack a day cigarette habit with vaping. She has gotten healthier and feels better because of it. And while I'm all with you guys, some of you with the douche flute comments, I'm not a big fan of the giant clouds of vapor either. But you know what? It doesn't smell as bad, and if it makes you healthier, I'm all for it. So she deals with Fast Tech a lot for the vaping stuff. She's really gotten into it. I have gotten into it in a way. I have asthma and allergies, so I don't smoke and I don't vape, and I will never do either. And asthma isn't fun, and neither are allergies, but you know, it's almost funny that it may wind up extending my life because I've never smoked. So I have made some acrylic tips on my lathe for it and some other little parts out on the mill, and I'm probably going to make vaping parts. I made those big rotation station things, as she calls them, which you saw before, the Country Pammy stuff I was making, which holds tanks and bottles and things like that, and I'm happy to do that for her. But Banggood is a company that I have ordered quite a few things from over the years. From electronics to automotive tools, paint guns, soldering irons, you name it. I've ordered a bunch of stuff from Banggood. Banggood has always treated me well. Yeah, you know, they can't really help it if something gets beat up in the mail on the way to the United States, but they've always been really good to me when it happens. I ordered a fairly decent HLVP paint gun from them. You know, probably about a fourth of what I'd pay for here, even less than I would pay for it at Harbor Freight if Harbor Freight had the same one. And it arrived all beat to snot. I mean, the paint gun was dented to heck and the lid was twisted, and nothing I couldn't repair, but you know, I shouldn't have to. So I contacted, and they offered me a number of options, including half the price back, and I keep it. So I accepted that, and I beat the thing back into shape, and I've been using it. I ordered something that didn't work at all, and they just totally refunded the money, no questions asked. I ordered one of the little TS100 soldering irons. If you've never seen them, here's one here. See if I can hold it up to the camera. It has a little LCD screen, takes a notebook power supply, which, because I'm in the computer industry, I got a giant box full of notebook power supplies from dead notebooks. Also has a micro USB port on the back, and temperature buttons, and the you can put different tips for different size things on it. And I got it because I was trying to repair gaming mice. There's a certain gaming mouse I really, really like, and for some reason they're super hard on mouse buttons, or maybe it's just me, but I've never had a Logitech mouse button go bad. But mouse switches were going bad on these things left and right, and I was putting in good quality Japanese Omron switches. So like, this is a soldering iron I picked up to do little bitty work. Well, it's supposed to be able to communicate with a computer via the USB port. You're supposed to be able to copy different firmwares to it. I wanted to change Celsius to Fahrenheit because I'm an ugly American and I like Fahrenheit. It's what I grew up with. It's what I know. I don't have to use Google to have it tell me what a Celsius is in Fahrenheit, of course, except 0 and 100. I got those figured out, finally. Well, I got it, and it wouldn't communicate with my computer. And I'm a computer tech. I mean, there's probably 8 computers running in my house. From the brand new Ryzen 7 I just built, to my wife's Ryzen 7, which I just built, to my little MacBook, old little MacBook on the shelf, to my wife's Windows notebook, to my 2 Windows notebooks, to the Windows XP computer that runs my mill out in the garage. And it wouldn't communicate with any of them. Tried different USB cables, tried everything, nothing. So I contacted Banggood, and Banggood asked me if I would be willing to put another board inside of it. So I said, sure, send it to me. So they sent me a replacement board, and I put it in, and I had no more luck with that than I did before. So I contacted Banggood again, and they asked me if I'd send it back. And I told them, well, you know, isn't that going to be kind of expensive? And they said, well, yes, but we would really like to see it. So I said, okay. They told me to get a price and let them know. So I got a price. It was going to cost something like 24 bucks to send it back to China. And the things only cost 40 bucks complete in a kit on sale. They're about 60 if they're not on sale. So I backed it up and sent it back to them. And when they got the notice that I'd sent it, they mailed me another one. Well, they never contacted me back about what they thought was wrong with the one I sent back. But I got the new one in the package, and guess what? It wouldn't communicate with a computer either. So I started thinking to myself, okay, this must be me. So I gathered all my micro USB cables together, and I probably got 15 of them. And I went back through all the computers once again, trying to get it to communicate with a computer, and it would not. So I got back onto them and complained again, and they sent me another one, and it didn't work either. Well, at that point, I just dropped it because the soldering iron does work. It does work just fine, but it won't do one of the main things I wanted it to do, which was contact a computer and, you know, communicate with a computer and allow me to put an updated firmware on it. So I'm not going to make it. I didn't want to make them send me a third one because they do work and the whole thing was dragging on. But actually, Banggood did their best. I don't know who the manufacturer of these actually is, but they obviously have a problem with some of their USB communications chips. Anyway, that's my story on that. It is a great little soldering iron and works really good. I wouldn't use it in a production roll, but for tiny little things, boy, it is really slick. You can set the temperature, has a lot of slick little features. So let's talk about what's on the print bed right now. I'm really liking this Petsfang cooler. It has some peccadillos, and the peccadillos are, it works too darn well. If you have this little fan come on, this little 50-15 squirrel cage blower, I think they call them centrifugal fans. I've always called them squirrel cage blowers. If you have that come on at 100% on layer number 2, you may very well have problems. I did. Support, small support structures didn't want to adhere and were coming loose. A number of things. So the first thing I learned is, need to run that thing at 100%. For starters, it's loud at 100%. At 60 to 80%, it's almost inaudible. So I have been running it at 60, between 60 and 80%, and I've also been turning, unless it's fairly big like this, where I can expect to get some decent adhesion, I normally don't even start the fan up for the first couple of layers. Let it get adhered to the bed, and so far after that, it's been great. I love the thing. I love it so much, I'm thinking about, obviously, I'm doing more than thinking about it since it's printing out now. I'm considering replacing the hot end fan with one of these as well. They're great little fans. They're easy to obtain. They really put out some air for their size, and they're pretty quiet, under 80% or under. So what's printing now is an adapter, and you know what? 40 millimeter fans are easy to source. You don't have to do this. I'm a tech nerd, but then again, if you have a 3D printer at home, you're a tech nerd too, aren't you? Don't deny it. You know you are. I've been one my whole life. And that'll never change. So what's printing now is a mount. And the reason I picked this one, I was going to make my own, but God, there are so many things on Thingiverse. I'm just having a tough time convincing myself I need to reinvent the wheel. So I'm looking through the different fan adapters on Thingiverse, and I stumbled across this one. And I'll put a link in the comment below. I'm going to slide over to my computer, and I'm going to tell you the name of it right now, if I still have it up. And hopefully I do. Apparently I don't. Maybe I can get back to it. Let me see if I can get back to it here real quick, and I will tell you the name of it. Well, maybe I can't. I'll put it in the link below. Oh, I think this is it. This is it right here. This is the 40 millimeter axial to 50 millimeter centrifugal fan adapter by KMCCON. And the reason this one struck me, and the reason I liked it, is obviously it does what it says it's going to do. It adapts a fan like this, squirrel cage blower, into an axial fan mount. But the reason I liked about it is this little part over here is a velocity stack. He includes a velocity stack for the fan intake. And I thought, okay, I like this guy. He and I could be friends. So that's why that's printing on it now. I am going to, I don't know if I'll do it right away. I've got some other projects in mind and upgrades in mind. But I'm going to have it sitting in handy for when this fan finally goes bad. And it's already making some unpleasant noises from time to time. So I suspect that's coming soon. I already have another one of these from Amazon. They came in a 2-pack. So that's probably going to happen within the next few days or in the next week or two. So the Ender 3 printer. Let's talk about the Ender 3 for a minute. It certainly has some issues. One, I think every fan on it's a piece of crap. None of them are ball bearing fans. They're all the cheapest thing Creality could find, and that's fine. This is a $200 printer that, in my opinion, prints as good as a $600 printer. While this is the first printer I own, I have followed 3D printing for a while. This is the first one I've just decided to buy because the price point and the people who had got the earlier ones, what they were saying about it. So I took the plunge and I got it, and I just couldn't be happier with it. You take care of some small problems it has when it's new. The Z-axis, and you know what? The Z-axis not lining up. You can put the spacer in that spaces the Z-axis motor out. That goes against my grain. That would have sat in the bottom of my stomach and burned, because that Z-axis rod is not going to be straight. And while it may only be a degree or two out, that would be enough to get to me. I'm not OCD either, by the way. You look around this room, I'm kind of Captain Chaos Jr. here. But that would have been enough. You can't properly tighten the Z-axis bushing because it's going to be running at an angle. So anyway, it's pretty easy while you're at the assembly stage to bend the bracket that the Z-axis bushing goes into a couple of degrees so that it lines up properly. But honestly, I don't know that I think it makes any difference whether you bend it or put the spacer in. But do one or the other of them, or it's not going to be right. The another thing that I don't like is the little cooling fan. You can't see it down here with the print bed over it. The cooling fan for the main board only runs when the parts cooling fan is running. That shouldn't be like that, because what if you're not using the parts cooling fan? What if you're enclosing the printer for ABS? For starters, I don't think you should enclose this printer all ever. Get a CR10 or something that has a breakout box with the electronics in it if you're going to enclose a printer. But that fan should run all the time the printer's on, in my opinion. And one of the next mods I'm going to do is I'm going to flash this printer to a different firmware. I'm going to lose the power resume, but power here where I'm at is pretty reliable. I haven't really had any issues with it other than in monsoon season, and I don't think I'm going to be starting a print when there's a monsoon going on outside and a lightning storm. Because let me tell you something, during the monsoon here, lightning can go for 30 seconds to a minute non-stop. Take a 5-second break and go for another 30 seconds to a minute. It is crazy. I don't even have my computers on during that period of time. So that's another little annoyance of it. The micro SD card is another annoyance. I've already lost 2 micro SD cards. If I set them down, they're gone. I actually found one of them today. I was shocked. I have no clue where the other one is. I may have slid it back inside the case by accident. So next time I feel like it, I need to kick the little mainboard cover off and look and see if it's not laying in there on top of the main board. I used to mess around with Arduinos a lot, but I kind of ran out of things to do. It kind of got boring for me. I mean, I got tired of making flashy lights on little robots that I'd play with for an hour and then stick them on a shelf someplace and never get them out again. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot, but I got bored with it. And here about a year ago, I gave all my Arduino stuff, and I had a big box of Arduinos and toys and breadboards and jumpers and everything you can imagine. I gave it all away. So now I need another Arduino to flash this board here, a bootloader onto this board. Because it comes with all the parts and because it's really reasonably priced, I went to TH3D Studios and I bought their $14.99 Arduino that comes with all the little jumper wires you need. I probably could have found one of my friends, probably has a box full of them, but you know what? I'm getting another Ender 3, so I'm going to want to flash that too. So I'll just bite the bullet and buy another Arduino. And I'll let you know how that goes, because one of the things I would like to have back is that Creality seems to have disabled in this board is the thermal runaway protection. I kind of think I know why Creality did that. I don't really want to say it because I don't know for sure, but I'm willing to give up the power loss resume in order to get the thermal runaway back. And hopefully it'll give me some other neat features as well that Creality has not put on into this firmware. And no, for those of you who asked, I don't think I'm going to do a full-length 30 or 40 minute long Ender 3 review. I mean, isn't that what these videos that I've made so far are, if you look at them in their totality? You know, the people who do all these printer reviews, most of them are getting the printers for free. They're getting them sent to them by Banggood or by Ali or by, who's the other one, GearBest or Fastech, or they're getting directly from the printer manufacturer. Nobody's sending me printers for free. Plus, I live in a 1,200 square foot house. I've got 3 cars here, 2 motorcycles, a milling machine, a lathe, giant toolboxes. I have no room to store 20 3D printers. I mean, either 2 is going to be, I mean, I could probably do 3. I could do more than 3 if they didn't have to be in the house. But right now, it's 106 out in Arizona. My garage is uninsulated and it's uncooled. And I ain't spending any time out there if I could help it. Heck, we're going on the time in Arizona where it won't drop much below 100 degrees at night. So no, working in the garage is out. It has to be inside. Now, if one of these companies see this and want to send me a free printer for a review, okay, send it away. I'll review it. But I will also tell you guys I received it for free, and it's basically going to be a review of something I got for free as a favor to that manufacturer. But I don't really expect that to happen to me. Also, affiliate links. I'll put affiliate links in my comments or my description, and should I ever decide to do it, I would absolutely tell you that those are affiliate links. Now, another thing I picked up here recently, I picked up a roll of, and I'm probably not going to get it in here. I can't get it in here. Anyway, it's a roll of black PETG I'm going to start playing with very soon. And one person who watched my videos, I'm sorry I don't remember your name right now, gave me some tips on printing ABS. I'm going to try that again today. Maybe not today, but certainly by this weekend. I have some website work I need to do for myself and some eBay work I need to do. And fortunately I can sit here since my computer setup is all in the same room with the printer. I can do all that, you know, while I'm printing and watching the printing going on. Oh, one other thing I wanted to touch on real quick. I see right back there, you'll see a kilowatt. The kilowatt is back there because my wife was initially concerned over how much electricity this may be used. She she pitched a big time fit when I was running a Bitcoin miner, a couple of Sponduli Jacksons out in my garage, even though we got 3 computers out of it. But they did use a lot of electricity. If you see the number, and my printer has not run night and day. I'm not comfortable about running them all night. I've run them all night. I've run it all night several times, but most of the time it runs while I'm sitting here. So I'm guessing I probably have 150 hours this month on the printer. And right now, if you look, you can see that's how much electricity it's using as of on a monthly basis. And it has not changed more than a cent or two up and down. It's it's an average number. So we're looking at $2.64 basically is what a monthly charge for electricity. And I've got it set to my electricity cost. We're paying about 11 cents a kilowatt hour here. So she actually didn't mind that. And my wife is very frugal, and she does a really, really good job monitoring power usage and trying to keep us, you know, in the in the area where we're not using so much power, we get bumped up to the next rate. So, excuse me, that's a good thing. But yeah, I'm gonna try ABS again here shortly, and I'm gonna start playing with the PETG too. And when I say that this fan's not very loud, on 100% it is, but this is summertime in Arizona. So there are fans running in my office, and right outside of my little office door is the intake for the AC. And we have an overpowered AC here, and let me tell you, I'll tell you how much it sucks, but it would be probably get me demonetized before I'm even monetized. It's a great AC, and it's very powerful, but having the intake right outside of my door pretty much means that when it runs, it sounds like you've got your head stuck inside of a vacuum cleaner, or sounds like being next to a 747 when it's taken off. It is very loud. So that's why I paused at the beginning of this video. Anyway, I can't think of much of anything else to say right now. You guys see what's going on. You see the Ender 3 is still running great. Mirror is working great. The hairspray is working great. I really, other than the fans going bad, I really can't think of too many complaints. And yes, I'm printing in purple again. That's another spool of purple filament that we got for that project my wife wanted to do that turned out not to be an acceptable color to her. I've also printed a lot of things out of the other purple because, you know what, I don't know that I'm going to have a use for purple. She actually claims that's not purple, that it's pink, but it's marked purple on the spool. And one last thing is that little thing there I printed. You can see it kind of gives a better angle coming off of that spool down into the filament feeder. I like that. I super glued it onto the rail because it was kind of wobbly the way it is. Probably should have printed that with 100% infill. just so that the little pokey bits would have been a little bit stronger than they are. I'm liking the camera holder. It's working real good. Gives me the phone holder. Gives me a full view of the screen so I can make sure we're looking at what we need to look at. And yeah, I like it. It was pretty easy to print. Didn't really have a problem with it. And got a nice little tripod. I've had that tripod forever. I think my brother originally brought that back from Germany when he came home from the military. God knows how many years ago that was. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments, put them below. I do my best to respond. If there's anything you can teach me or anything you can point to me, let me know, because I love learning new things. Hope you all having a great day, and I'll talk to you later.